Hello, crew. How are we? I am here, just running a couple of minutes late. I've just got off a 2.5-hour call with our VIPs. So we could have kept talking easy for another half hour, but I'm here to talk to you guys. So thank you, VIPs, for letting me jump off quickly. Thank you for the discussion and all the rest of it. I'm helping a group of people dive deep into their businesses. So how is everybody? What we are here to talk about today, so sorry for all of that, just jumping off a Zoom and straight onto the live, we are talking about your emotions. Network marketing, digital marketing, online marketing, it is a roller coaster of emotions. Would you not agree with that, guys? Have you had good moments, bad moments, frustrating moments, want to give up moments, elated moments, successful moments, and then dismal moments in this industry? Are we not on a roller coaster when you are an entrepreneur with a home-based business owner, a home-based business? Does it just not become part of the territory to be on an emotional roller coaster? Would you agree with that? So this is what we're going to talk about today. So if we haven't met before, my name is Helen Martin and I'm your online crew captain. I'm normally on time. Those watching the replay will never know the difference. I think I was about a minute late or something like that. So I go live 5 days a week, and my first video of the week is to do something to do with you. Something to do with personal development, belief, self-worth, all those kind of things. Something to get you thinking about you, because mainly what we talk about here is social media skills. Something to do with, building, well, basically what we do here is help home-based business owners bring their business online. And we use modern social media strategies to do that. So to attract people to us and do certain things in the online world to get the right people drawn to us so we don't have to chase our friends and family. That's the way I choose to build my business. I want to find the right people online that want to come into business with me. I don't want to chase anybody to buy anything off me. So I can learn skills. We can learn Facebook, we can learn Instagram, we can learn TikTok if you want. You can learn Snapchat, you can learn LinkedIn, you can learn all these online platforms. You can learn how to do online funnels. You can learn Facebook advertising if you want to delve into that. You can learn all about the Facebook algorithm and all these kind of wonderful, weird social media skills, but they mean nothing if you do not believe you can do it yourself. They mean nothing if you have a lack of confidence. They mean nothing if you have a lack of self-esteem in you. So, two really, really big skills that help us be successful in this world of network marketing, digital marketing, social media marketing, all of the above, home-based business, business. It all stops and starts with you first and foremost. You can learn skills. You can learn how to do Facebook advertising. You can learn how to do a Facebook Live. You can learn how to post a few things on social media. But no one can make you think differently other than you. And there is no question that we are on an emotional roller coaster in this industry. It's good, it's bad, it's ugly, it's depressing, you want to give up, it's exciting, there's exciting moments, and there's down moments. Do you know what I'm talking about, guys? Those of you that are here, that are in this industry, do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, so it all starts with you. So what I want to share with you today is this thing about how do we handle our emotions. And I've got to check in with my notes because I've just come off a 2.5-hour call with the VIPs, and it's like, what am I talking about today? So I know what I'm talking about today, but if I'm looking down at my notes, I'm refreshing what I'm talking about today, because this is so important. This is more important than social media skills. So much more important than social media skills, because skills can be learned. But no one can make you think differently. No one can make you take the action that you're avoiding. No one can help you be a better communicator. It's all up to you. The buck stops and starts with you. So if you've got issues, if you've got confidence problems and stuff like that, we need to work on them, because only you can control your mind. Nobody else can control your mind. Stops and starts with you, correct? So this is what we're talking about today. I hope this is a useful discussion, thought-provoking. It's not meant to change your world. It's just meant to get you thinking about how potentially you could be a better version of you, how you can move forward maybe a little bit faster with the things that you know that are holding you back. You with me? So we'll get onto that in a minute because I've got some things that I recommend that you do to help with this. Okay, so we'll get onto that in a second. Let me start by saying hello to a few people. Hello, Crystal. How are you? Lovely to see you here. And Gloria, how are you today? We've got life members in the house, Gloria and Crystal, both of those. Hello, Lynn. Janet, hello again. Good to see you on. Happy to see you. Always happy to see you, Crystal. There you are. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was a minute or so late because I was still talking to the VIPs. Hello, Edith. Great to see you here. Hello, Monica. Look, Gloria is a life member. We got Cindy here, who was on the call a second ago, and Susan. We got Sandy. Yes, I feel like I've been on a roller coaster for a decade. It never stops, does it, Sandy? In this industry, it's all part of the territory. We go up and down and round and round. It's just the industry that we're in. So we have to learn to control it because it can get the better of you. And when it gets the better of you, or you get really frustrated with something, then you get upset, then you get overwhelmed, then you want to give up. And the sure fail-safe way of not succeeding is to give up. So if we just tackle it a little bit better, if we were a little bit more in tune with what's going up here, we can be a little bit smarter about how we handle a lot of these emotions in this industry. Mary, totally agree. Lost moment and letting fear take over my mind sometimes. You are not alone, Mary. Fear is huge in this industry. Not knowing whether you can do it, not knowing whether you can be successful, not knowing whether anyone's going to want to do business with you, not knowing, like in your case, Mary, doing Facebook ads, am I ever going to get a successful ad? You know, there's all sorts of things, whether you're growing your business organically or through Facebook advertising. There's always that little fear. Can I make this work? Is this going to happen for me? I've been doing this for months, years for some of you. It still may not have happened for some of you. You're still hanging in there to see if it's going to work. Are some of you in that boat? Be honest enough to say yes, years. Because most people are. Like, have been going through it for longer than what we care to admit sometimes. We had to get a new fridge today and lost a lot of food. Oh, so yay for the fridge, not for the food. Due to our old fridge dying last night. Oh, sorry about the food. That's not a good thing, but yay for the new fridge. Hopefully it's a good one. Sorry, I highlighted that someone. Hello, Beth. Hello, Emma. We've got Deborah here as well. Hello. Hello, Helen. Lovely to see you here, life member. It all starts with you. It does. Megan, great to see you here. And Adita, all the VIPs have jumped on, which is great. Hello, Patricia. If it is to be, it is up to me. Absolutely. Roller coaster for sure. Yes, we do. Yes. Morning, Malin. Great to see you here. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Hey, Tammy. Lovely to see you on. I will always hang in and I do not give up. Great. Yes, still never giving up. Good to hear, guys, because we don't want to give up, but we've obviously sometimes got to do things a little bit smarter, or take a check-in a little bit quicker with where we're at and what we're thinking and what we're doing to make sure we move the needle forward a bit faster and we don't stay stuck, okay? So we know that we have to have a fairly high level of what we would call emotional intelligence for this industry. Does that make sense to you guys, those words? You have to have a high level of emotional intelligence in this industry, which mainly comes down to the way that you think and the way you process how you think, and your thoughts lead to your actions. So the way that you act. So it all starts with your thoughts, how you think, good, bad, I'm not good enough, I don't know if I could ever be successful enough, I'm not sure that I've got the right skills for this, who's going to listen to me, I'm too scared to talk to them, I'm worried about what people are going to think about me if I do that, or if I do live videos or those kind of things. There's all these things that come through your thoughts, correct? It all stems from the way you think. There are people that are bulletproof out there. There are people, and I know Gloria is one of these people, she doesn't care about what people think. And I applaud Gloria for that. But there's a lot of you that probably care way too much about what other people think, and it holds you back, does it not? It comes from a place of fear. But that all comes from your thoughts. It's all coming from the way that you think. And sometimes that's not going to serve you well. It's going to hold you back. So sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here. Your confidence, empathy, optimism, social skills, self-control, language, that's all revolved around your emotions. And we need to have some emotional intelligence. Leaders, if you look up to the leaders, if you're in the network marketing industry or digital marketing, and you look up to the leaders, your mentors, I bet they have a level of skill that is called emotional intelligence. I bet some of them are very level-headed. And even though things might be falling apart around them, products come and go when you don't want to, maybe the company increases prices, maybe there's product delivery problems and all the rest of it. Leaders in this field will not buy into those problems. They will keep a level head and they will say, no, that's not ideal, but here's the best way that we can move forward. There is a level of emotional intelligence from leaders in this industry. So firstly, check in with yourself. How is your level of emotional intelligence? Do you react? Do you complain? Do you hold yourself back? Is there always something going wrong? Do you get really frustrated with things? Like, how is your emotional intelligence in this weird, wonderful world of network marketing and digital marketing? Do you think you have a high level of emotional intelligence, or do you think there is room for improvement? Be honest. Share it with me. I'd love to know. Room for improvement, or I'm all good? Do you think you have a high level of emotional intelligence in this industry? I'd love to know. Leaders generally do. They don't complain. They don't bitch. They don't whine. They don't blame their upline. They don't blame their downline. You are responsible for who? Only you. You are not responsible for your upline does or doesn't do. You are not responsible for your downline and what they will and won't do. And that can be as frustrating as hell sometimes. You might have an upline that you don't think supports you enough or gives you, enough training or things like that. You might have a downline that's disappeared. It's like, well, where did they go? I've done everything I possibly can for them, and there's still not that. There's always something to complain about, is there not, in this industry? Because we work in teams. We work with groups of people. We need people, mentors, to guide us along the way. So we need people to make this business work. It's not just you. It is a team of people. But who can you control? Only you. You can't control the upline. You can't control your mentors. You can't control your downline. The buck stops with you and how you handle all of that. So if you've got an upline that's not supportive of you, not giving you the appropriate training, what can you do about that? Don't stress about things you can't control. Have emotional intelligence about that. If somebody's not doing what you want them to do, can you change that? You can only guide people the right way. You can't make people act a certain way. You can't make people turn their auto ship on. You can't make people reach out to people. You can't make people do anything. The only thing that you can control is you. So responsibility regarding your emotional intelligence is key here. Do you take responsibility for your emotions? Or do you say things that you shouldn't? Do you shoot off your mouth? Or do you actually sit there and say nothing to anybody? You got to take responsibility for that as well. If you know you're in this networking business, but you're not doing any networking because you've got fears about networking, that's just as bad as shooting your mouth off to people, because the fear is holding you back of building your business. That's nobody else's fault but yours. Emotional intelligence. Over time, you want to build this emotional intelligence, and that comes down to the way that you think. So how do we improve this emotional intelligence? And this is what I want to give you some tips around. Would you like some tips around how to improve your emotional intelligence? I'd love to know. What tips have you got around emotional intelligence? I want to see whether you feel that you have it or not. I don't care what people think about me, but I have other things to work on. Okay. I've learned about EI, emotional intelligence, years ago. It helped me move my thoughts away from biz, because most of us think the problem is external to us and things are going wrong. So we can often blame other people or situations. So it might be that you blame it on your upline, or you blame it on the downline, or you blame it on the husband, the kids, the interruptions, those kind of things. So it's easy to lay blame on other people. It's also easy to lay blame on the situation that you are in. So there may be situations that are not ideal at the moment. We've still got this COVID-19 thing going on at the moment. People are going back down into lockdown. It's a very sad state of affairs. Just checking in with you guys. How's things in your part of the world? We've got one state in Australia that is doing really, really badly. It's just a total turnaround. More and more cases every day. They've got apartment buildings that are in complete lockdown, suburbs, and it's just like, no, we were doing so well. Like, there are lots of things that people can blame, but it all comes down to the way you think, because you can't change some of those things, but you can change the way that you think. Okay, and this is your emotional intelligence. Tons of room for improvement. Always room for improvement. Oh yes, always room for improvement. Always room for improvement. Take full responsibility. And this is the thing, like Rick's saying, you've got to take full responsibility of where you're at. If things aren't working well from you, yes, there may be things externally, but there are people that are far worse off than you are that are still happy and making things happen. There are things that are going to happen around you that are not the best ideal situations, particularly with COVID and what's going on. There's lots of things that are being forced on us that we can't control, but how you react to that is no one else's doing but yours. People can't hurt you unless you allow them to. Situations can't frustrate you unless you allow them to. Everything comes from the way that you think, guys, and how you perceive things. And this is your emotional intelligence. So over time, this takes time, guys. You want to build emotional intelligence. If you want to be any kind of leader in this industry and have a team underneath you, you need to be neutral to problems and things like that. And just go, okay, yeah, it's a bit of an issue that we've got at the moment. It's a bit of a challenge, but let's see how best we can move forward with that. Not that, I haven't got my products and they haven't arrived and blah, 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 blah. Complainers. Do you work with complainers? Do you have complainers in your business, in your downline, in your upline? That is not called emotional intelligence. So you need to build some muscle, guys, with your emotional intelligence. So how do we do that? Just checking in for a few more comments. I do have good emotional intelligence, but I do have room for improvement. Sorry, where did the comments go there? Pretty good. My partner does when I don't, for sure. Okay, that's cool. Room for improvement. Yes, I do for the most part. One thing, I don't complain to my upline or downline. Yes, please. I did a go live on leadership with no audience or followers today. That's a good thing, isn't it? That you're talking about leadership. Or is your point that you didn't have any audience today? Yes, please. Yes, please. I've learned through video challenges to troubleshoot first when there are tech problems. I've also learned to let go of things out of my control. So important. I have awesome mentors, including yourself, from your online helpful tips. I've learned that you can't control others because they don't have my end in mind. Well, they might, but nobody can make your life but you. Nobody can make you successful for you. I can't make you successful. I can teach you every social media skill under the sun, which I don't know, but let's say I did. That's still not going to make you successful. You're the only one that can make you successful with how you move through life, how you attract people to you, the kind of person that you show up to be every single day, even when things are going wrong. That's what's going to make you successful. Yes, please. I know enough to know I need to work on me and that I am the problem and the solution. I love that, Megan. Recognizes there's a problem, but she is the solution. No one else is the solution. We create our own solutions. I get frustrated with it. Be safe all. Well said, Megan. Yeah, absolutely. Always room to improve. So let's get on to sort of the tips, because the unfortunate thing, guys, is most people are unsuccessful because of their emotions. A positive mindset always makes it easier to handle issues. Yes, true, Terry. But having emotional intelligence is not about avoiding negativity. It's not about avoiding negative emotions. It's not about ever going there. You'll always go there. Things will happen that will take you to a place where you're upset, you're frustrated, you're angry, all of those kind of emotions. It's not about avoiding it. It's about how you handle it. So we're not trying to avoid negativity. We're not trying to avoid negative emotions. We're just trying to handle it in a much more sophisticated way, like having intelligence around your emotions. So taking a check-in with these 4 things. Okay, so things for you to remember moving forward about taking control of your, basically improving your emotional intelligence. So number 1, pay real close attention to how you behave. So this is all these videos that I do at the beginning of every week. This is not, what I say is not going to change things overnight, but if you can have a higher level of awareness of things, that's when you can change. If you don't have a level of awareness about something, you can't change it. So the whole purpose of sort of going through topics like this is raising your level of awareness. If you think about it and you have a level of awareness around it, then you've got half a chance to change it. It's like, taking an alcoholic. If an alcoholic doesn't think they've got a problem, there's no level of awareness of a problem. They're not going to change, are they? So the only way we can affect change is to have a level of awareness around it. So check in. How do you behave in certain situations? How do you behave when something goes wrong? Are there people in your life that are stubborn? Their way is the right way. There are people that are going to be around you that behave in ways that are not necessarily favorable. You can't control them, but you can control how you react to them. So if you're triggered by certain things, this is really important to know what your triggers are. What triggers you? What gets you going? What gets you frustrated? What gets you angry? So really checking in with how you behave and what your triggers are. When you know what they are and you've got an awareness around, I was a bit short with that person, or perhaps I was a bit rude in how I said that, or I yelled at my child again. Like, yelling doesn't get you anywhere. How many of you get really frustrated with your kids and you yell at them? And what do? More often than not, they just yell back. That's not emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is being really level-headed and asking the right kind of questions to get them to react differently. Asking questions like, tell me what you were thinking in that moment. Or do you think that was a wise choice? Share with me your thoughts around the reason that you did that. Ask emotionally intelligent questions rather than, don't do that. Clean your room. Anger, whatever you portray, you get back. So take a real good check-in how you behave. Managing your emotions becomes much easier to control when you're aware of how you react. Okay, so think about that. When you're reacting to whatever, whether that's frustration, anger, upset, any of those kind of emotions, have a real high level of awareness of how you're reacting and the reason behind it and what your triggers are. When you've got an awareness about that, you can change it. Until that point, you've got no hope of changing who you are. So you've got to have a high level of awareness of how you behave. Okay, number 2, take full responsibility for your feelings. Nobody else upsets you. Nobody else makes you feel a certain way. You're the only person that can make you feel a certain way. So if somebody says something to you, there are so many examples of this, but if somebody says something nasty to me, and I've been through this in the last few months when somebody was trying to be hurtful to me, and I was really, really, really upset about it, but I allowed that. Then when I pulled my head together and was thinking logically about it, it's like, I've got no reason to be upset. This is actually not my issue. This is somebody else's issue. They've got something that they thought is happening, which is not actually happening. It's actually got nothing to do with me. I'm just going to continue carrying on what I normally do. So when you put it into reality, people don't make you feel certain things. You make you feel certain things. So really put that into perspective. You control that. I didn't have a high level of emotional intelligence when that situation was going on for me. But it took me an evaluation and some time to just think more logically about it. But people don't hurt you, you allow them to hurt you, okay? So you've got to take responsibility for your feelings. If you're down, upset, you're whiny, you're complaining, you're, looking for sympathy, all those kind of things, you've got to take responsibility for all of that. So just remember, you are in control whether you think you are or aren't, with your circumstances, the people around you, husbands, wives, children's, friends, exes, whatever it is. Your thoughts are your thoughts. Nobody else tells you how to think. So you've got to take responsibility for that. If you're really down on yourself, take responsibility for that. If you know you are lacking on certain skills, take responsibility for that. No one else can solve that and change that for you other than you. So we need to check in with taking, 100% responsibility for how we act and feel and what we say, okay? Third thing that can help you with this is tracking it. Like if there are some things that you need to work on, if there's some emotional intelligence that you need to build some muscle around, just keep a diary and check in with your feelings at the end of the day. I know this can be old school for some of you and go, I don't want to bother be doing that. But if you really want to change, the only way you can change is now. It's not in the past. It's not in the future. I've talked to you guys about this before. Change can only happen in the now. So the only way you can really assess and evaluate and affect change is to be really consumed in it like now. So write about it now. At the end of the day, what happened today? How did I react? Oh, I'm not very happy with myself about that. Or I said the wrong thing, or I didn't really act with emotional intelligence today. Like I can improve that tomorrow. So when you're actually really processing, putting it down in a diary, writing it down and really evaluating what worked well and what didn't work well that day, you can affect that change then and there. Okay. So if you really need work on this, I would encourage you to document your emotions and how you're handling with them if you need some big improvement in this area. The fourth one kind of relates to what I was saying before, is understand what motivates you. So in two different ways, what motivates you, what triggers you to act in certain ways, who gets under your skin. It may be actually people. It may be certain circumstances. It may, there just may be many, many different triggers that gets your emotions going. So take a check in with that. Understand what your triggers are as far as triggering emotions, but also what motivates you to do good things. You might need that in times where you're lacking emotional intelligence. Work out what motivates you, what changes your mindset, what makes you feel good, what can snap you out of things. Something that works well for me, it's very simple, but it changes my mindset really, really quickly. And for me, that's music. So I can go from, if I'm feeling really frustrated or something's going wrong and I'm not thinking logically about something, or I'm consumed with something, I will put some uplifting music on and it changes my mood instantly. If I can't sleep at night, I'll put some soothing music on, meditation music or something like that, and it switches off my brain so I can sleep. So I can change my mood, and I can change my emotion, and I can change my emotional intelligence by doing something as simple as putting on some different type of music, uplifting music or soothing music or something like that. And I know what motivates me, and I remind myself of the good things that keep me motivated to keep me in the right frame of mind. So that last one, it's knowing what your triggers are that set you off so you can bring those into check. Also, what triggers have you got that you can change your mindset and pull you out of moments of frustration or anger or whatever. Like some people, it might be just going for a walk. It's in changing their environment, those kind of things. So work out what works for you as far as changing your mindset if you're in a time where your emotional intelligence is not quite high. And always remind yourself of what motivates you. So something like, the network marketing industry or digital marketing, social media, whatever you're doing for you, in your entrepreneurial sort of business ways, what motivated you to do it in the first place? Now, a lot of you will say, oh, that's my why. My mentors talk to me about my why. And if your why doesn't make you cry, then your why is not big enough. I'm not a big believer in that for reasons I won't go into just now, but understand what motivates you to do the things that you do. So when you are feeling beaten down, when you are feeling like you've got minimal emotional intelligence because you're feeling lack of confidence, a lack of self-belief, a lack of skill. If it's skill, then learn the skill. Just go and learn the skill. But always remember what motivated you in the first place to get into this business so you can, just make sure that you don't get to that point where you want to give up. There is something that is a driving force, whether that's for you or your family or your finances or your legacy or whatever it is that you're striving for. Sometimes you need to come back to that and remember that to keep you in check. No, this is bigger than me. This is not me feeling frustrated and angry and my downline or something like that. This is bigger than me. And I've got a higher purpose here, so I'm going to keep on going. Sometimes you need to check in with yourself to get out of the immediate emotion and think above what the immediate, lack of emotional intelligence is. Does that make sense? So this is not rocket science stuff, but you have to have a really high level of awareness to be able to change it. So, paying attention to how you behave in all circumstances, taking responsibility for your feelings. Don't blame it on other people, uplines, downlines, husbands, wives, children's, whatever. Take responsibility for your own thoughts and your own feelings, because your thoughts and feelings result in your actions, and your lack of actions will destroy your business or make your business. Okay, so you've got to take responsibility for that, nobody else. Third thing, if you need a real push in this area, keep a diary so you can check in with your emotions and have a really high level of awareness. So not just thinking about it, actually writing it down and maybe having a bit of a reality check that you have a lack of emotional intelligence perhaps. And the last one there is remembering what motivates you. What's your triggers, but also what motivates you. It's important to check in with that. Okay, so I'm just checking in with some comments here. I have been working on my emotional intelligence now for months, and it has improved significantly, but still needs work. I will get there. And it's not something that changes overnight. It's a growth area for all of us. It seems like it fluctuates so much, the way I think, and my emotions, positive and negative, all mixed up. And this is the industry we're in, unfortunately, Mary. So this is why this topic is really important, because if you want to be a leader to other people in this industry, we need to have this level of emotional intelligence, because it's just the roller coaster that we're on. And if anybody entering this industry tells you otherwise, they're just lying to you, because this is just part of the journey, is it not, guys? So we have to build emotional intelligence muscle to survive, because it's full ups and downs. But how you think you can get around that? Positive mindset always makes it easier to handle issues. Yeah, becoming a leader, even if you don't have a team or a downline. Preparing for leadership with the skills and ability. Step into being a leader before you are one. That's the best way you can prepare yourself, is step into those skills before you even need them. Absolutely. I practice gratitude every day, especially when things get difficult. Great. Mela, true need mindset. I talked a little bit about it on my live today. The downfall was our old fridge failing, but we're so very grateful for the food that we do have, and the things worked out for us to get a new fridge. Absolutely. Hey, Wendy. Love watching and listening to you. Thank you, Wendy. We almost add fuel to the fire when we allow others to hurt us. Absolutely. Something happened to me and I've had sleepless nights, but I've taken responsibility for my response. Yeah, and I think about my week, like you guys, some of you will know that I went away last week with my husband. And it was a fabulous time, apart from when we picked up our phones and he had clients that had troubles and I had people wanting sort of certain things for me. And one of the nights that we were only away for 2 nights, I didn't sleep a whole entire night. But whose responsibility is that? It's actually completely mine. And what I should have done is gone and grabbed my phone from the other room and I've got a meditation on my phone. I should have switched off my brain, because I know that's one of the things that helps me get out of overthinking. I'm an overthinker. I don't know if there's anyone in the same situation, but sometimes we can overthink things and just run it through our mind over and over again. And it's hard to not do that, but that's where music just changes me. And I know I could have done that because I've done it heaps of times. Just, okay, I'm overthinking, I'm not sleeping, put a meditation on, and then I'll be asleep in about 5 or 10 minutes. So that's something that I do often. I didn't do it then, which I should have, but I didn't want to get out of bed. It was cold. I should have, though. Anyway, I've talked long enough. I'll look at the rest of your comments after. It really is an important topic, guys, because online skills are awesome, but they don't trump your own emotional intelligence. Whether you make it or not in this industry does come down to you, the person that you are, the empathy that you have for other people, the value that you give to other people on social media, the way you troubleshoot problems, whether that's technical problems or building relationships with other human beings, those kind of things. It all comes down to you. So I would just encourage you to just have a higher level of awareness about the way that you think and the way that you act, and just taking full responsibility of when things are not going well and you're not acting the best way, how you can change that and change it quickly. But just grow this skill level of emotional intelligence, because it's not going to change tomorrow. It's not going to change overnight. It's something you need to have a high level of awareness on an ongoing basis to be a better version of you every single day, and strive for that. Strive to be a better version of you tomorrow, and then another better version of you the next day, etc. So we can become the human beings that we really want to become, because that's what's going to make you successful. So this is not just a business thing. This is life. This is with your husbands, your wives, your kids, your grandkids, whoever's around you. This skill of emotional intelligence flows through every area of your life. So it's really important to have a high level of awareness so you can lead the best quality life that you can to be as successful as you want to. Okay, so thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for your comments. I appreciate that. I hope this is thought-provoking in some way to make you guys think a little bit more about your emotions and how you think and how you can improve that. Tomorrow, I am doing a webinar, so at the time I'm going live. So I will be going live tomorrow. If you're still listening to this video at this point, I'll be an hour and a half earlier. Oh, I hope I haven't got a strategy call with a student before then. Let me double check that. No, so hour and a half earlier tomorrow will be my live, guys. So I will look forward to seeing you then. Whatever part of the day it is for you, have an awesome rest of the day. Bye.